What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Team Solemn Circus live video. On the left side here, we have Mimighoul going up against pure Ryzeal on the right side here. The deck to beat this format, a little bit underneath the Fiends with Ryzeal, but definitely going to be good decks here. Before we dive on over to like, comment, shop, a lot. We're on the road to 10K, trying to hit that before the end of the year. Looking definitely slim, but we need your guys' support. We are going to be seeing Mimighoul start off, but we do see a Prelia being dropped on the Ryzeal side. So if you do summon from the hand, we are going to draw. We do see a Mimighoul Master being normal summoned. We then get to draw off that copy of the Mulcharmy. And interestingly enough, that's going to be a 1-of in the deck, so not going to be a good normal summon at all. We're going to see the effect of Master kind of trying to be searching for a card. We do hit that with a Veiler, which is going to allow us to not summon. And we do end up drawing another card off of the Archfiend that is summoning to their side of the field. And then we just set one card and pass turn off that. So we do see an Ash in the Mimighoul's hand. We are going to be then activating Desires, banishing 10 cards, and we are going to think on this. We see Ash and Droll here, so kind of a little bit of conflicting cards, if you do ask me. We do Ash this here, and we have a crossout for the Ash Blossom, which can allow us now to draw 2 more cards, and making that this Desires is pretty important. We're then going to flip up an Archfiend, allowing them to discard a card and let's see what's going to happen now. We do see a Droll going to be activated on this, and then the Archfiend's going to essentially make the opponent just discard a card, which they end up discarding a random Desires they end up drawing. And we do have 2 extender of Ryzeals to be able to go up into the Detonator here. Detonator can attach, and it's just going to attach a Veiler, just so we have something that we can just, pop additional pops. Who cares? We're going to go battle phase, and then we're going to attack into the Archfiend. And set 1 and just pass turn on this, yeah. I mean, Detonator is a pretty crazy card. Essentially we have a triple Dryden on the field right now that can respond, and has to be responding 2 cards on the field. But we're seeing Mimighoul end up admitting defeat there, realizing the game's going to be lost. And yeah, we have the field spell as our top deck. Yeah, triple Dryden, pretty crazy. The fact that it's also not once per turn, just has a chain to an activation is like, oh no. I wish Dryden could pop multiple times a turn. I think that card can 100% come back. This deck is honestly just crazy. Ryzeal is the deck to beat right now. I think that Malice definitely is an undercover deck. Both decks have new support coming as well. Not in the next set, but the next core set afterwards. We always see the side set decks get, I think it's like 2 rounds of support right now. At least 2 support cards in the first round wave of support. So hopefully we're going to get 2 new cards. I don't exactly know what they could give Ryzeal to kind of make it better. Honestly, the deck's already so good. We are going to get another searcher, or a starter in this case, to search for your starters in the Maze set. But hopefully by then we see a ban list maybe hitting their consistency of this deck a little bit. But diving on into game 2, we're going to be seeing Mimighoul going first once again. And will we see maybe a little bit of a brick with Master in the hand? This time, it does not look so. So we're going to be seeing a dungeon going to be activated here. Or this is Pressure Planet, my bad. Letting us search for a Unicorn or a Fenrir, going for the Unicorn himself. We then get to summon out the Unicorn. Unicorn can then activate the effects, allowing us to search for a Birth or a Theosis here, because we are playing both copies. If you guys want to see the deck profile, definitely check out yesterday's, or I guess I should say last week's deck profile. It was on the channel on Wednesday there. We're going to then see a normal summon of a dragon activating the effect. They do chain an imperm to this, making sure they just not get to search for the trap or the maker for this. Definitely a decent hit for the imperm there. We're going to go up into a Silhouette Rabbit. We did see a little bit of a side deck check to make sure that we did keep it in. And we have the trap being able to set. That is going to be a classic Todd, leaving the trap out of their deck. But this time it's going to see it actually kind of resolve. We can now activate the Birth that we added to the hand, allowing us to summon back out the Unicorn. And with this, we just simply pass turn, I believe, leading it back onto Ryzeal with an additional set. And just like that, we're going to be seeing turn 2. It looks like we're thinking here, so maybe not, but okay, we're going to give them a monster first, and then we're going to pass turn. Okay. So we are looking at what we can do here. We're going to be seeing a normal summon of a Ryzeal monster. And then we're going to let that resolve. Or they're going to think on it, okay. We're explaining what it does. Now we can't go into a Typhon because only the rabbit was made the last turn. But they are thinking on this. Not exactly sure for what. But we're going to go for an imperm on it, negating the effect, essentially not letting them have an extender there. But we have it anyways, being able to send the Archfiend to the graveyard and summon itself out. But that is going to let us trigger the Unicorn as well as the Azamina going to be summoned out there. Or not the Azamina, but the Azarune being summoned out. So they do try to go up into a XYZ. We can negate the summon there. And then we do see a Desires banishing 10 cards, letting us search for or draw 2. We're going to go overlay up into an Exciton Knight. And this summon should be met with the Azarune, yeah. Negating the summon altogether. But now we have 3 cards kind of left to continue. And we do see the Ice going to be activated, sending the Meteorologic, which can then negate the Fenrir, or the Unicorn here. Allowing us to no longer rip the extra deck. And we do see the Ice effect going to allow us to summon out. I believe that is going to be a Sword. And then Sword can activate the effect, allowing us to search for the Ice once again. We then overlay up into the Duo Drive, and then Duo Drive can activate the effect attaching 2 to be able to search for 2 here, and this is an absolutely nutty card. The fact that we can just search for 2 being the field spell alongside, the field spell alongside, I believe that's Node, is just pretty crazy there. We're going to see the field spell going to be activated, and that's going to allow us to chain a Birth on Resolution, attempting to banish cards from the graveyard. Yeah. So we now have a monster negate if we have a Ryzeal monster with an XYZ material. But we're going to be getting rid of 3 of the Ryzeal monsters here, including one of the extra deck cards, which I believe was the Aggravator there. And then we're going to be seeing another one of the Ryzeal summon itself out by discarding a card from the hand, being a Molcharmy. And then we're able to reborn back out the Sword from the graveyard. And we overlay up into a Detonator here. Detonator can't attach. And they do ask about Pressured Planet there. We're going to go Battle Phase, attack with the Duo Drive, and attack into the Silhouette Rabbit. Now, Silhouette Rabbit cannot be destroyed by battle because it is an illusion monster, but they still take the damage here, which is kind of important. We're then going to see a set, and they're going to just pass turn on this. Now, ironically, the set is a Talents, and Azarune is considered a monster card that activates effects while it's on the field. So we could have actually Talents there if we wanted to, because it did activate its effects, but we didn't really know about that ruling here, so it looks like we just did not catch that there at all. We're going to see the Birth can activate, then we activate the Duo Drive there to pop the Birth, and then we're going to be seeing a Talents of our own now, and we definitely do chain the Duo Drive to pop itself, or not the Duo Drive, but the Detonator popping itself there, making so that they just have to be forced to take the Duo Drive and essentially make it like an SP. But we are thinking on this if you want to chain the Detonator here. I suppose the only other option is that we could pop the Rabbit, but it doesn't necessarily do very much for us here. So we do pop the Rabbit there, giving them the Duo Drive, and they do activate a Maker, and that's going to let them summon out from the deck either a Dragon or the Archfiend. So hoping to give their opponent the Dragon, but it's not going to matter that much no matter which one they end up getting. And they end up giving the Archfiend there, which is going to be the worst one. We didn't summon out the Dragon, activating the effect of Dragon. They do have an imperm for that there, so a little bit of a better card after all. And they have to chain the Detonator, destroying the Ryzeal field spell here. And if we find a way to clear this board, Ryzeal is going to be down to 2 cards left in the hand. but will be essentially on nothing as well here. Other than maybe a draw off the Archfiend. We're going to go for Anima. Anima's going to be able to yoink up that Dual Drive. Then we're kind of looking in the graveyard if there's anything worth banishing with an SP, it looks like. I feel like you kind of have to, because if you don't, you're just going to give back the Detonator, and that's not going to be really kind of worth it there. So we're going to go up into an SP, and that's going to banish probably just the Duo Drive from the graveyard, or doesn't really matter, maybe a Detonator or a Sword. So getting rid of one of the main deck ones, and we're seeing them pass turn on this. We do see, once again, the special summon out of the green, and I believe this one is not ice, but it is like the eyed one. We're going to see Tornado Dragon being sent to the graveyard, summoning itself out, and we can then summon out here from the deck, but we're going to chain Maker now, banishing, making us flip up the Archfiend, which can then activate the effect. We chain the SP, and they have to banish a card from their hand, and we draw one. We do go Talents, and we then normal summon an Ogre, go up into a Typhon, go Battle Phase, and then SP will return during the end phase alongside the other one with a set card as well. Yeah, I mean, it's not the greatest here. I know if we had Typhon, we'd make a Typhon right now. I know that was kind of a conversation topic that we had in the deck profile, I guess, if you have not seen. Mimighoul isn't playing Typhon at the moment, which definitely is going to be a card that they want to play in the deck. Every round they played, or every match and game they played, they wish they could have made a Typhon against the Ryzeal deck, which could definitely come in clutch. I definitely think that is going to be kind of an issue in not playing Typhon versus Ryzeal. I think that Ryzeal makes the Typhon being a little bit of a better card, especially with the Duo Drive and the Detonator. Detonator being a 3,000 attack just makes it so that you can just go up into that copy of Typhon, and their opponent just can't Duo Drive, which is pretty nice. But we're going to be seeing the battle phase taking some damage there, and then we're going to go up into a Zeus, and now Zeus is actually live. I have never seen this before. And if you guys have watched the deck profile yesterday, you guys would see that this is going to be something that Jason said that he did do. Kind of crazy that we end up going into a Typhon, not using the effect, and using the Typhon to go up into a Zeus there as well. We're going to see the Corn being summoned out, and then will we see the effect going to be activated of the Zeus prior to the Unicorn being activated? And yes, we do. The face down also comes in the graveyard, which is going to be a cross out, but it's going to be quite hard for Mimighoul to kind of come back to this. We're going to go battle phase, attack for 3,000 with the Zeus, and just pass turn on that. We're going to see Dungeon going to be activated now, and we are back into the game. So we do end up searching for a dragon. We had a dragon in the graveyard we could have searched for as well, but thing the deck never really hurts. Normal summon dragon, activating the effect, getting hit with a Veiler. And yeah, that is kind of rough. We just pass turn on that there. You know, battle phase, take 500 here, set one and pass. So we're running pretty low on life here, but we can go dungeon, add back the dragon from the graveyard once again. Or we can search our deck. So we're going to search our deck here for... We are thinking we want which one we kind of want to get. Fairy looks like an option. But we do choose to go for a Slime here. Then Slime will give itself to the opponent. And we can then normal summon with the Archfiend. Archfiend is going to flip up the Slime, making a summon from the deck. And that's going to let us summon out the Dragon. Dragon can then search here which definitely makes sense to me. Or we're going to search for a Master, which can then activate the effect, letting us to search as well. So going for the Master over the Dragon. That might be because we already have the Archfiend in rotation here. So not needing to go for that Maker. We search for a Fairy there, which is going to kind of give us another body on the field. So we're going to look like we're trying to blink up or XYZ up into the Giant Mimighoul. And then we're going to go search for a copy of Room, which is going to help us out quite a bit in the grind game versus Ryzeal. We're going to see Fairy going to activate, putting itself face down. And then we're going to activate the effect of the Giant destroying the Zeus, making them take 1,000 as well. Then we're going to set one card and just pass turn on this. We're then going to go Bonfire. The Ryzeal player opening up Bonfire here. It's pretty nice. You know, having some playable cards definitely helps. But then they end up searching for the worst target that they have because there's nothing really else for them. You know, a lot of their deck is kind of thin. They did Desires, and they have gone through a bunch of their Ryzeal stuff already. We're really running on fumes in that machine-type deck. We're going to flip up the Fairy here because we cannot normal summon without it, and that's going to activate the effect. And now we get to Room, place one more face down there, kind of making them summon out again. And now they can't activate cards from their hand either, I believe. We're going to be seeing, this is the Ice one sending the Slime to the graveyard, I believe, which can make them not be able to activate the effect of Monster Summon from the hand. They're going to go Battle Phase, attack. And they do... Why don't they take it? Why doesn't it just leave the field? We're going to see Dungeon, add back the Dragon. But yeah, we're cooking here. We have Master, we have Room in the graveyard. We have a whole bunch of good stuff here. We're going to see the Room going to activate now, allowing us to bounce back the Master. Normal summon with Master going to be now allowing us to search for another monster here, going for that Armor. I wonder what that face down card is though. Like, we haven't seen an Imperm being activated there. They were trying to set it the previous turn as well, but they chose not to. So I actually have really no clue what it really could be. We're going to go Battle Phase, attack with the Giant Mimighoul. Then we're going to give ourselves a double Mimighoul to the side of the Ryzeal player. And then we're just going to see them admit defeat here, realizing that Thrust is going to be the top deck. And so now we're going to be moving on into game number 3, with Ryzeal going to be able to choose who can go first or second. You know, obviously they're going to be choosing to go first here, you know, being one of the best going first decks that they have out there. We can set up a triple Trident as well as a negate. But, you know, we have seen a bunch of hand traps from the side of the Mimighoul player, as well as the ability to just kind of beat the Ryzeal board itself. Even though we haven't kind of gone full combo yet, we did see a bunch of hand traps like Droll and Ash being hit, alongside Fenrir being summoned out as well. And spoiler alert, there is a Book of Moon in the side deck of the Mimighoul player, which actually does hurt the Ryzeal deck quite a bit, being able to book their Detonator face down, essentially force them to pop either on the field or just kind of waste it up, letting it just sit there, which is definitely not going to be a good time for them. But we also can side into some powerful cards, you know, against Mimighoul. You know, D-Berry being a pretty decent card, calling XYZ, even though it does shut off your XYZs. If yours is booked face down, or, you know, you've already used your pops, it definitely can help quite a bit, as well as Anti-Spell being in their deck. If you guys did not check out the deck profile, like I mentioned earlier in the video, definitely do that. Quite a good deck profile. You know, you're getting first place at a locals. Doesn't really mean that much. You know, it is just a locals, you know, not the biggest event, but it does show off a certain text and certain options, which he does explain to us. And, you know, we unfortunately don't have any regionals, so I believe next year, so we can't really kind of go to that, but so all we kind of can do for testing. Some of the events are a little bit bigger, but we're going to be diving on into Game 3 now, with Ryzeal going to be opting to go first. And let's see what the final duel will bring us. So it looks like double hand traps in the Mimighouls with the Ash and a Veiler here. But we're going to see a Pot of Prosperity being started off with the Ryzeal, Banishing 6. Now, he's not the biggest fan of the Prod of Prosperity because he does say that you normally can banish, you can end up getting like 7 draws in the deck. And getting hit with Prod of Prosperity makes it so you can't really draw anything else. And we do Ash Prod of Prosperity here. When we see a talent, able to rip their hand. And it looks like we have Maker, Room, Talents, and a Veiler here. So leaving them with Maker, Talents, and a Room. Now we're going to be seeing a normal summon of a Sword, I believe. And that's going to let us search for the Ice or the Ext. And then we're reactivating the effect, summoning itself out by dumping the Metrologic, which is going to let us attach this later on. Now we can go full combo into the Duo Drive and just search whatever we want here. So we're going to kind of speed through this, going for the Duo Drive, attaching 2 of them, allowing us to search for the Field Spell alongside the other one. Oh yeah, we're going to go for the Field Spell alongside the other spell here. And then we're going to activate the Field Spell, and we're going to go up into the Node, I believe, which brings itself out, and then we can summon out one from the graveyard. And then we now can go up into a Detonator here. They're going to take a second to read the guys here. We're going to activate the X to try to summon out. Then we go up into Detonator. Detonator is going to attach the Metrologic. We're going to set 1 card and pass turn. So now we have a pop as well as one set. Okay. So they're supposed to put the other card, but they just didn't there. We're going to see a Maker going to be activated, and they do let that resolve there. Now, we have talents in the hand, so we want to make sure our first pop is going to be pretty nice, or else we're just going to be talenting out into losing our Detonator. So we probably don't want to use the Field Spell first to negate. We're going to see the Fairy as well as Dragon. They do give themselves the Fairy there. We're going to see a Archfiend being normal summoned, or summoned out from the, I should say, from the hand due to the Maker. Trying to flip up the Charm, and we do see that getting hit with an Imperm there. And then we do go into a normal summon of Dragon, and we opt to negate this and destroy it. Now, I feel like we should have just negated it, though. We shouldn't have popped it. Unless the Field Spell forces you to have to activate the Detonator to kind of negate. I'm not exactly sure. I'm still learning the deck myself. But we are approaching time. Time I do believe just got called. And so we are going to have to be forced into going into a game 4 because I don't believe we have a way to deal damage. We have a Maker. We have a Talents in hand. I guess we can go Talents take, but they can just chain the Detonator, pop the card, but then they can't flip up the Charm either because it has to be flipped up by a activation and not just a flip up effect because it was set this turn. And it looks like we're going to try to Talents, but the game is kind of essentially over because no matter what we do, we kind of just lose. And they do play it into the Imperm column, so they're not going to be able to get anything there from it. 1 column, unfortunately, kind of rough there, but we are now going to be forced to go into the game number 4 because time does get called. And yeah. Ryzeal is pretty generic. Like, the deck is super, it plays itself, honestly, and I want to say the Tempai is a little bit easier. Some people actually think that Tempai is a little bit harder, but I think that Ryzeal is very straightforward. It reminds me a lot of Zoo, where everything gets you to your end board no matter what you kind of open up. While I said the other day, at least for Tempai, you have to make Chandra stick. And I guess I understand both sides of it. I hate playing against Tempai. I think Tempai is probably the worst design deck I've ever seen. But Ryzeal also seems pretty arrogant, just not caring about what the kind of the opponents do. Now diving on into game 4, we are going to be seeing Ryzeal going to be going first here with a special summon out of the X dumping the Metrological, and then we're going to be searching for the sword or ice here. We're going to activate the effect of sword summoning itself out, or it's going to summon itself out. Then we're going to activate the effect searching for an ice. We're going to go up in the dual drive, activating the dual drive effect here. That's going to allow us to search for the field spell as well as the other one here, speeding up the combo quite a bit. And then we are going to be hopefully setting both the cards this time here. We're then going to summon out the ice. Ice will let us summon out from the deck. Another ice. We can't do that there, so we summon out the X. And now we go up into our detonator, and then we are going to be able to attach to Meteor Logic. Activate the field spell, put back the 2 to draw cards. And then we go Bonfire, letting us search here. And can that search for nodes is the question. No, just for another ice, okay. I'm going to set 2 cards and pass with a Veiler in the hand as well. So we have Crossout, Designator with a Mythologic attached. We have the field spell to negate. We have a Veiler in the hand. And we have it evenly matched here to kind of stop this altogether. And they're going to take a second to read the spell card. I haven't even read the spell card myself either, so I don't really know what it does. And we do call Crossout. Banishing a talent so they can't talent us for the rest of the game. That makes sense. You know, leaving Detonator on the field and not wanting to get talents can definitely be pretty powerful there. We should also banish the Crossout face down as well, because it does stay on the field until the remainder of the chain. And then we're going to see a special summon of Fenrir over here. That's going to activate its effects. It's going to hit with a Veiler. Yeah. I don't know if I would Veiler or Fenrir, honestly, myself. I'm going to see now a Thrust. Now, we can't go for talents, so that's going to be out of the question. But we can go for a Room. We do play that as a trap card here. But it's not looking too good for Mimighoul. We're going to see them opt to search for a Maker here. I hope they don't have talents in the hand, because like that Crossout call talents is so good. And now they only have 4 turns, so 2 turns each if you guys do not recall how time rules work. We're going to summon out Archfiend, link away now for an Anima, and then we're going to go up into, I believe, an SP. SP is going to try to banish the Ryzeal, and they do chain to pop it. We're going to chain the SP. Then we're going to chain to pop the SP as well, so it's going to be ending up banishing the Ryzeal. Or we're going to actually banish itself, okay. We're then activate Maker, we chain Ash Blossom this, and we have now 2 cards left in the hand, one of them being Dungeon. Going to be the craziest here. We had double hand trap as well as, still being able to play through this, and they end up ogreing the Dungeon. They're going to summon out the ice. We do Ash that, and it's going to now be a grind game. It's all going to rely on this top deck from Mimighoul. Hand trap galore over here. We're going to see Typhon being made, attacking for 29. That's going to be quite a bit of damage here. And then the top deck, which is going to be the last turn of the game. Can we deal over 29 damage is the question.
You know, they did mention in their deck profile that if they ended up playing Typhon, they would have been able to out that board last turn. They also had a Veiler there, so they would have been able to Typhon instead of going up into SP, making so that the Detonator couldn't activate its effects and kind of just go that way. But we ended up seeing a Typhon end up winning for the Ryzeal player in the game 4. Definitely a different kind of a game. You know, Mimighoul actually, you know, went through that board quite well with evenly matched and stuff like that. But having those triple hand traps to kind of shut down all the rest of the engine, as well as a cross out for a talent, definitely was quite nice there. Regardless, hope you enjoyed watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe for more content like this. Stay safe. Peace.